Good morning. So we are now on Wednesday the 10th, and it's maths, and we're looking at fractions. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. So, nice and large, lovely. So we are going to find and write fractions of a discrete set of objects today. So for this, you will need some resources. So I'm going to use some scissors. You don't need scissors, I just need objects that I can move around. So I'm trying not to use multi-link or anything I'd have in school normally. You could use different safety pins or like I was using the other day, paper clips or little tiddlywinks or anything like that. That is perfect. Lego would be good. Anything like that that's the same size. It needs to be fairly small because we're going to be using lots of them. So in a class of 30 pupils, 4/5 are going to the disco. How many pupils are going? Get 30 objects to help. Split them into groups of 30 objects into groups of, have a look at the denominator, groups of 5. So 4 out of the 5 groups. So 4 out of 5 groups are going. Okay, so the denominator is always the groups that we're talking about. So there are 5 groups in total, and 4 of those 5 groups are going to the disco. So what I've done is I've very skillfully drawn this. Done 5 groups, and I've split very systematically going from one. I've split 30 into those groups. You could use discrete objects, but I thought that would get a bit messy, so I've just used dots on my page now. So I've split them into 5 groups. They're all even. Sorry, they're not all even. They're all equal. I keep saying that. They're all equal. And now, all I need to do is count 4 of these 5 groups to find out how many are going. So that's the first task, and I'm going to pause it there. And you can do that task. Now, how many did you get? If I quickly count, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the first, if I had a unit fraction, 1/5 would be 6. So 4/5 is 4 times 6. So 6, 12, 18, 24. So 24 children are going to the disco. I hope you got that right. I hope you managed to split equally. Keep doing it. Split equally and systematically so you can work that out. Okay, so I have created this. Now this is with cubes, but I could do this with scissors. So that 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got my 4 there, which represents the same as my 4 cubes on that side. And I've got my blue one here. So what do my scissors represent? My scissors represent, well, there's 5 in total. There's 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the total amount is 5. The denominator is 5. And one of those is blue. That one blue, what does that represent? Does that represent people going to the disco or staying away from the disco? If we look back on screen, 4/5 are going. So the reds are going to the disco. And this one is the 1/5, my unit fraction, that is not going to the disco. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed you're with me, I know it gets tricky. So 4/5 are going to the disco. Now in my model here, which again I represent with scissors, you could represent with Lego or different coloured plasters or anything like that really. Bits of Play-Doh that you've put in different colours and categories. I've got my 4/5 represented here, and I've got my 1/5 represented there. Now, that's where it might get tricky. there are 5/5 in total, because there are 4/5 plus this 1/5, that makes 5/5. There's another name for that. When the numerator and the denominator are the same, that represents one whole. All of the cubes, all of the scissors, all of the children in total. So if there were 30 children in Elm class, they are one class, that is Elm class. So 30 children in Elm class, so the denominator would be 30. And if I was talking about all the children, it would be one class, okay? I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'd like you to create this with your own cubes or in your own way. So take a picture of it and show me. So what I'd like to do on your page is have whatever you like, your objects. I want you to show me 4/5. I want you to show me 1/5, and I'd like you to label it. And don't forget, all of it together is one whole. So let's see if we can move the. I don't know why I'll bother, I can't see it. So you're going to label it just like I've done on screen, but with your own resources, and take a picture and put it on portfolios or send it to me, or or message or anything. So you've got it for record. So that's the first task. We can pause it here. You can do that and then come back. Okay. So now what I'd like to do is the same idea, but this time you use the concrete resources, and you're going to create a different fraction using 2 color cubes or items. So this time I'm going to use 3 blue pairs of scissors. I'm going to use 5 red pairs of scissors, and all of them together, the whole lot, remember, all of them together is the whole, it's 1. But the denominator is going to be how many I can count. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total. So it's 8. And the numerator, I'm going to have a numerator for the blue ones and a numerator for the red ones. So I'm going to have 2 different numerators because there's 2 different amounts. Okay, you can make that up. You can do that, and again, you can write it on the paper and label it and take a picture and post it onto your portfolios. That'd be lovely to see. Okay, you can then extend that and you can then represent it into a bar model just like I've shown, as accurately as possible. So you can do squares. So this would be, if I was talking about my scissors, the red ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 over 5, 6, and 8. 5 over 8 would be red, and my blue ones were 3 over 8 in total. Okay, remembering the full amount, the whole is 1, and the denominator is the amount you have in total. Okay, what would the denominator be? Remember, it's the total. What would the numerator be? Remember, it's the number of the objects that you have in each color. Now, I'd like you to use this to create a worded problem using these fractions. So Ben is given a bag of sweets and he decides to eat 5, which is 1/4 of the bag. 1/4, remember 1/4, that's a unit fraction, 1 over 4. 1/4 is 4. So how many sweets were in the bag to start with? So if he's eaten 5, 1/4 equals 5. How many more are in the bag? Well, 1 is 5. What's missing is however many it takes to get up to 4 from 1. So 3, you're missing 3/4, 3 over 4. So we can work that out, okay? So you're creating your own problem. And I'd like you to post that in a video. I'd like you to give us the question, but not the answer. So keep it nice and short, and I'll post some of the videos that I get from you. I'll put them on Dojo, and hopefully people will answer it in the comments below. Okay, so that's today's task. I hope you understand, and any problems, just Dojo me, and I'll answer.